Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Easton's 2023 Purple Heart Day ceremony at the Easton Town offices. Here with me, I have Commander Steve Shaw of the VFW Post 2547 and Commander Teresa Pedico Poole of the American Legion Post 7. Also in attendance, we have State Senator Walter Timilty, Select Board Chair Dottie Fulgenetti, Select Board Vice Chair Craig Barger, Select Board Member Mark Lamb, Town Administrator Connor Reed, and our guest of honor, Purple Heart recipient, U.S. Marine Corps veteran DJ Riley. Please stand if you are able to and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all. Please welcome Pastor Polk from the Holy Trinity Lutheran Church to lead us in a prayer.
Good morning. Let us pray. God of strength and resilience, on this Purple Heart Day, we celebrate the valor and bravery of those we honor, who love and serve our country today, and those who loved and served our country, who will be remembered forever in our hearts. We remember the ones who risked their lives, those who returned to us, some healed, others healing, and those who sacrificed their lives, now abiding with the divine forever. Merciful, gracious, and compassionate God, we pray for our sisters and brothers injured in a time of war or during a time of service. May their stories be lifted up and heard. May their spirits be elevated and celebrated. May the light of the divine be a balm to their injuries marked on their bodies, souls, and hearts. May the winds of the Spirit build their resilience. May we, as your children, Holy One, advocate for their healing, love them unconditionally, and support them always. And finally, dear Lord, inspire us to see our place in the well-being of all of our neighbors, and especially today, in the ones who are the wounded brave. In your holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Polk. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. Please take your seats. Today we gather here to pay tribute to National Purple Heart Day, a day of profound significance as we honor the brave men and women who have made tremendous sacrifices as members of our U.S. military. On this solemn occasion, we dedicate ourselves to remember and commemorate those who have been awarded the Purple Heart, a symbol of valor and selflessness. The Purple Heart Medal stands as a poignant distinction bestowed upon those service members who have suffered wounds or made the ultimate sacrifice as a direct consequence of enemy action while serving in the U.S. military. It also serves as a testament to the courage and resilience of the surviving family members of those who have fallen in the line of duty. Since its inception in 1782, the National Purple Heart Hall of Honor has proudly presented over 1.8 million Purple Heart medals to deserving service members. And in 2015, the town of Easton proudly declared itself a Purple Heart community, reaffirming the unwavering support and recognition we extend to our veterans, particularly those who have endured the hardships of combat. Today we are honored to have several outstanding local residents in our presence, individuals who have valiantly served our country, with a select few among them being Purple Heart recipients. These selfless heroes have made immeasurable sacrifices, both in mind and body, to safeguard our cherished freedom during their service in combat operations. In a few moments, we will have the privilege of hearing from one of our distinguished local Purple Heart recipients who will share some of their experience with us. So let us come together on this National Purple Heart Day, united in gratitude and respect, as we pay homage to the gallant souls who have upheld the values of our nation through their remarkable acts of valor. But first, please welcome Select Board Vice Chair Craig Barger to read the 2023 Purple Heart Day proclamation.
Good morning. Thank you, Corey. Whereas the people of the town of Easton have good admiration and utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selflessly served their country and this community in the armed forces for the good of all. And whereas contributions and sacrifices of the men and women from Easton who served in harm's way in the armed forces have been vital to maintaining the freedom and the way of life enjoyed by our citizens. And whereas citizens of our community have been killed in action while serving in the armed forces and have been posthumously awarded the Purple Heart for their ultimate sacrifice. And whereas citizens of our community have been awarded the Purple Heart for their bodily sacrifice of being wounded in action while engaged in combat. And whereas the Purple Heart is the oldest American military decoration in present use and was created as the badge of military merit on August 7th, 1782 in Newburgh, New York by General George Washington. Initially, it was made of purple cloth shaped as a heart with the word merit sewn upon it. And whereas the heritage it represents is sacred to those who know the price paid to wear the Purple Heart, and whereas August 7th is nationally recognized as Purple Heart Appreciation Day, and now, therefore, be it proclaimed, we, the Easton Select Board, on behalf of the town of Easton, go on record to hereby proclaim Easton, Massachusetts, a Purple Heart town, honoring the service and sacrifice of our nation's men and women in uniform that were killed, wounded or killed by the enemy while serving to protect the freedom enjoyed by all Americans. Also, be it proclaimed, we, the town of Easton, will recognize August 7th annually as Purple Heart Day and urge the people and organizations of Easton to display the American flag as well as other public expressions of recognition of our Purple Heart recipients. This was signed by Dottie Fulgenetti, Chair, myself, Craig Barger, Vice Chair, Mark Lamb, Board Member, Jennifer Stacy, Board Member, and James Stebbin, Board Member. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please stand if you're able to as we raise the American flag along with the Purple Heart flag. Please remain standing and join me in a moment of silence to honor those Purple Heart recipients who are no longer with us and the family members they leave behind. Thank you. You may be seated. I would now like to introduce our honored guest, DJ Riley, a remarkable individual with an inspiring journey who proudly served as a corporal in the United States Marine Corps. DJ graduated from boot camp on December 17, 2010, and completed his Marine combat training at Camp Geiger, North Carolina, ultimately finding his place as a logistics Marine in the 1st Tank Battalion, located in 29 Palms, California. During his time at Alpha Company, DJ's determination led him to gain invaluable insights into tank mechanics, despite it not being his designated MOS. This profound knowledge proved essential in fulfilling the demands of his job, exemplifying his adaptability and dedication. Shortly thereafter, he was deployed to the Helmand Province in Afghanistan with Delta Company on New Year's Day 2013. Throughout their deployment, they faced the harsh realities of combat and endured a harrowing attack on May 13, 2013 at Forward Operating Base Shergazi when a truck laden with explosives detonated outside the FOB. 3 Georgian soldiers were mortally wounded and several other Georgians and U.S. Marines, including Corporal Riley, sustained injuries. It was during this challenging period that he displayed exceptional bravery and resilience, resulting in him being awarded the Purple Heart Medal for his sacrifice. After returning home, DJ set his sights on the next chapter of his life, pursuing higher education. He chose to study sports medicine and athletic training, embarking on an educational journey that culminated in receiving his bachelor's degree from Bridgewater State University. Today, we are honored to have DJ here with us, a true embodiment of courage, determination, and resilience. Please welcome my friend DJ to the podium to share a few words with us.
So, my name is DJ Riley, and I stand before you today as a fellow veteran who carries the weight of a profound experience etched in my heart and soul. On a fateful day, May 13, 2013, in the distant lands of Shirgazi, Afghanistan, my life took an unforeseen turn. It was a day that changed everything. As a corporal in the United States Marine, I was stationed in a small combat outpost, fully aware of the dangers that surrounded myself and my unit, 1st Tank Battalion, Delta Company. Yet nothing could have prepared us for what unfolded. In an instant, insurgents took through the walls of our base with a vehicle-borne IED, leaving destruction and chaos in their wake. Amidst the smoke and debris, my unit, amongst others, rose to the occasion, displaying bravery beyond measure. We worked tirelessly, driven by adrenaline and the unwavering commitment to each other and our mission. Despite the danger and exhaustion, we transported injured comrades to the LZ for immediate medical attention, while we waited for the medevac to arrive. United in our selfless pursuit to save lives, but in the midst of it all, I fell victim to the consequences of war. Sustaining a traumatic brain injury, the memories of that day haunt me as I grapple with the reality of such sacrifices are not merely stories of bravery, but experiences etched in our soul and souls of countless veterans. Today I stand before you to share not just my story, but also the story of the Purple Heart Medal, a symbol that has come to embody the courage and sacrifice of those who have served our nation. The Purple Heart is not just a piece of mere metal. It is a testament to the indomitable spirits of our military veterans who have risked their lives to defend our freedoms. As we gather here as a family, united by our shared experiences, and as veterans who have stood on the front lines of our nation's defense, let us remember and honor the brave souls who have bestowed this prestigious award. The Purple Heart Medal represents the wounds, both seen and unseen, that our fellow veterans carry. It serves as a reminder of the testament to tremendous sacrifices made on the battlefield and the lasting impacts on the lives of us and the lives of our families. But beyond the physical medal, the Purple Heart is a symbol of enduring gratitude. It is a reminder that the freedom comes at a price, one that our fellow servicemen and women have paid willingly without hesitation. Their dedication and nobility inspires us all, and we must never forget the depths of their sacrifice. So as I stand here today, I urge you to embrace the legacy of the Purple Heart in our hearts. Let us carry it with us as a constant reminder of the bravery, resilience, and unwavering commitment displayed by our military veterans. May we never take for granted the liberties we enjoy today, knowing they were succeeded through the selflessness of those who served before us. In closing, I extend my heartfelt gratitude for all of you who are gathered here today. To my fellow veterans, I salute your bravery and sacrifice. To the families who have supported their loved ones in service, I thank you for your unwavering strength. And for those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our nation, your memory lives in our hearts forever. Thank you all for your time, and God bless you, our great nation, and all the men and women who have sacrificed for it.
Thank you, DJ, for being here to selflessly share your experience. I think, I can speak for you in saying that it's not comfortable to get up in front of a crowd of probably mostly strangers and share one of the worst days of your life, but it's necessary. And we have to hold these gatherings and hold these ceremonies. We need to. So it's the least we can do for those who are serving, have served, and continue to come home different than when they left. We need to support our veterans, and this is one of the best ways we can do it, is just by showing up. So thank you, DJ, for sharing. As a token of appreciation for your service and sacrifice, we have a tremendous local small business, Shoveltown Flag Company here, and he has graciously donated this beautiful handmade flag from reclaimed wood, and we'd like to present it to you here today. It's got a Purple Heart coin in the corner there, so I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to introduce State Senator Walter Timmelty.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. And first of all, to each and every one of our veterans, particularly our Purple Heart recipients and our Gold Star families, thank you very much. We are honored to stand amongst you, each and every one of you. Today, we gather today to pay homage and express our heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women who have been awarded the prestigious Purple Heart Medal. On this auspicious occasion of Purple Heart Day, we come together locally and as a nation to honor the courage, sacrifice, and resilience of our wounded warriors, our killed in action, and the members of our armed forces that have made the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of our nation. Moreover, I would like to take this moment to recognize the sacrifices that all of our Gold Star family members make when a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, a son, a daughter, or a loved one dies in service in our military to the United States of America. The Purple Heart is a medal. It represents the immense courage and selflessness exhibited by those who have faced the horrors of battle. It also signifies the unwavering commitment of our service members to protect and defend the values that make our country great. And thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, DJ. As we stand here today, let us not forget the tremendous sacrifices made by these brave individuals and the countless others who have fought and continue to fight for our freedoms. Our Purple Heart recipients and our service members have endured physical and emotional wounds that most of us can never truly comprehend. They have taken on tremendous challenges and have overcome unimaginable difficulties in their paths to recovery. Tragically, not all of our Purple Heart recipients recover or even have the opportunity to recover. However, it is in the face of this adversity that their true strength is revealed. Their true, resolute determination to push through hardships, to push through their wounds, their unwavering spirit to never give up, is an inspiration to us all from each and every Purple Heart recipient. Our Purple Heart recipients have demonstrated as to what it truly means to be a warrior in defense of our great nation. In closing, as we commemorate Purple Heart Day, let us express our deepest gratitude to the brave men and women who have sacrificed so much in defense of our freedom and our liberty. It is through their unwavering commitment and valor that we continue to enjoy the freedoms and liberties that we all hold so dear as a country. Thank you, and may God bless our Purple Heart recipients, the town of Easton, and the United States of America. Thank you. DJ, come forward for a moment, please. DJ, this week, myself and State Senator Paul Feeney offered the citation in the State Senate honoring you for your heroism. It's an official document, and it is recorded in the records of the State Senate. It reads as follows: Commonwealth of Massachusetts State Senate, official citation. Be it known, the Massachusetts State Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Donald D.J. Riley in recognition of being awarded the Purple Heart for your heroic service and bravery to your country as a logistics Marine in the 1st Tank Battalion serving in Afghanistan. And D.J. be it further known, the Massachusetts State Senate extends its best wishes for continued success. Because we know once a Marine, always a Marine. That this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the clerk, DJ. It's been signed by our Senate President, Senator Karen E. Spilka, attested to by our clerk, Michael Hurley, and offered by 2 very proud state senators, myself, Walter F. Timmelty, and Senator Paul Feeney. DJ, thank you for all you've done for us.
Thank you, Senator Timmelty. Next, I'd like to please welcome our state representative, Carol Doherty.
Thank you very much. Thanks particularly to Corey Ahonen for always never forgetting to extend an invitation to join the citizens of Easton in such commemorative events as this. And so I'm always proud to do this. I'm delighted to be invited to join my colleagues in government and you and the veterans of the town of Easton. This designation expresses our gratitude for the sacrifice of all members of the military, but in particular those of our community who have been awarded the Purple Heart after sustaining injuries or dying in combat. Easton is now on record, as you have heard, as honoring the service and sacrifice of our nation's men and women in uniform who were wounded or killed by the enemy while serving to protect the freedoms enjoyed by all of us, all Americans. I'd like to share a story with you that is very close to home for me, and it comes as a result, actually, of Easton's celebration of Purple Heart Day. The story has two parts, and they are linked. First, after my presentation, my remarks to you on this day, 3 years ago, I brought home the idea of creating a Purple Heart community to the city of Taunton. I proposed the idea to a friend of mine who was on the city council. Well, it took 3 years for that to happen, but it is done. Last Tuesday, the city of Taunton celebrated that event with presentations to the veterans gathered there. I learned that my neighbor, John, is a Purple Heart recipient. You'd think that you'd know everything about your neighbor, but no. I knew that he was a veteran of the Vietnam War and that he was injured. I didn't know about the Purple Heart. A few days ago on my daily walk, I bumped into him in the street and thanked him for his remarks at the event. And I quote him, I had a little poem that I wrote, he said, about my experience and how I got that Purple Heart, but I decided not to give it. I asked him, why not? Why didn't you read that poem to the group gathered there? Well, he said, I just felt that maybe no one would want to hear my story. Tell me, I said. So, standing on the street corner, he shared his story. He has 17 shrapnel wounds, was blown up into the air, as he described, 10 feet and 20 feet away from where he was standing. His clothing was blown away, and his partner was killed. And John still suffers from PTSD. Today, even as I speak here to you, he is invited to a senior event in our community, and he has been asked to share his story. He said, do you think I should tell that story, read my poem? To me, the important part of this celebration, Purple Heart Day, is to have veterans actually share their experiences. Thank you for sharing yours, Corporal Riley. And so while we come together on Purple Heart Day and other events like this, out of respect for our friends and neighbors, our veterans and their families, sometimes we don't really know what that story is about. It is sometimes an abstract concept to us to celebrate. A day where we honor our military, as we want to do. But the reality of this day is hearing the stories. Purple Heart Day is the kind of day created to give back. It's a day for Americans to remember and honor the men and women who bravely represented their country and were wounded or killed. The Purple Heart Medal is presented to these service members, as you know, with solemn distinction, and means a service member has greatly sacrificed themselves or paid the ultimate price while in the line of duty. These brave souls being decorated with a Purple Heart in the name of the President of the United States. And this day is for remembering them in their sacrifice. I thank you again for inviting me to join you this morning. The opportunity to be in the company of such bravery is humbling. I feel privileged to be here with you, and thank you for your service. Thank you, Easton.
Thank you, Rep. Doherty. I would be remiss if I didn't mention we do have several Purple Heart recipients here in the crowd today, and for fear of forgetting someone, if you could please stand, raise your hand if you have received the Purple Heart. I know there's about a half dozen of you, if not more. Don't be shy. Thank you all. I appreciate your humility. I myself do not like being called to stand or raise my hand, but it's very important that we do this. So again, I thank you. And thank you all for taking time out of your day to be here, risking potential light drizzle that seemed like it didn't occur, but I appreciate it anyway. You all being here means everything to the veterans that are here and the Purple Heart veterans here. So thank you. I'd like to thank ECAT for being here to film and share this ceremony. Thank DPW for setting up the tents and chairs and everything here. And I'd also like to thank Easton Police and Fire and all who support the work that we do here in Easton to care for our military and veteran families. We are so grateful for their service and so thankful for your support. So this concludes the Town of Easton's 2023 Purple Heart Day ceremony. Please join us inside for a reception.